The young gentleman in the cool hat.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Mayor, for allowing us to be here and for talking to us about this issue. My name is Brandon Black. I'm about to graduate from Cleary Western High School next week. Being an FFA, kind of just we're prepared to talk about these kinds of topics a lot, so I have 5 binders full of information I want to provide, but there's just a couple facts I kind of want to go over a little bit, and then in a second I want to make so for the couple of the stats I wanted to go over, I think one of the most important issues we haven't really talked about yet is the lack of agricultural literacy. It tends to be rooted with a lot of the other issues that face agriculture. I mean, man-made drought, the issue regarding urbanization, the issue regarding genetic modification versus organic farming, pesticides. It all comes down to people not understanding the basics of where their food comes from and why farmers do what they do. And this tends to lead to large logical gaps in arguments. I mean, you have people saying that farmers are intentionally using pesticides that cause cancer, and it makes no sense to say that a farmer is trying to hurt their consumer when this farmer relies on their consumer for their living. There's an article by or the survey rather, by the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance that said that 72% of consumers know little to nothing about farming or ranching, and I think that's kind of a staggering fact to think about. Well over half of our population has no idea where their food comes from, and that's something that needs to change. Less than 2% of farmers in America are directly involved, less than 2% of Americans are directly involved in production agriculture, and the average age of the American farmer is 58 years old. I got most of these facts from dialogues. And these are both facts that kind of show that we have a 2 to 3 generational gap between most families and farming and agriculture in general. I think that's something that needs to be addressed. It's something that is very important for the issues we're facing today. And going into my second point I wanted to make, I host a podcast that is dedicated to improving ag literacy. As I see it, we have 72% of the population doesn't know where their food comes from. I'm going to take my stand and try to fix that. And in my podcast, in my last episode we did, I actually interviewed Eric Wilson, the co-founder of 5 Depends on Ag. And he made a statement about without going into too much detail, he made a statement about the conversation that you two had. And he said that if your original statement was rephrased, as we talked about earlier, it wouldn't have been nearly as controversial. Your original statement stated that agriculture depletes the land of its resources, that it contaminates groundwater and air, that it kills bees, causes cancer, valley fever, asthma, and these may be issues, and whether or not they're entirely accurate is up for debate. These may be issues agriculture is facing, but more should have been phrased in the sense that, yeah, these are issues agriculture is facing, but my farmers back in my hometown are the ones trying to fix them, and I'm willing to support those farmers in doing so. So what you said, whether or not what you said is right or wrong, or whether it's accurate or not, something that I'm not going to get into because I could go on forever about that. I just think that, and this is something that Eric said, and it's something I wanted to kind of go over a little bit because he couldn't be here today, that he said that if you would have just, said that you support farmers in the first place, and that, yeah, these are issues that we face. There are tons of issues in every industry that everyone faces, but it's a matter of supporting those that are backing your job that really comes down to. You said that as mayor, you depend on taxpayers, right? Did you make that statement on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken?
Right. So, and I'll address you. So what you saw was a small portion of a long conversation, and those exact things that you said were after that conversation. Like everything that we know, these are issues that we face in ag, and I do support them. And I was almost defending. Don't sit here and say ag is obliterated in California, because in my business, if I show up to a house that's been obliterated by a bomb, there's absolutely nothing left. There isn't the farmers on the east side and no farmers on the west side. Obliterated means totally gone. And I defended that statement saying, don't say, I get it, they were going after one elected official, and that's fine. But my defense was, don't throw ag under the bus to go after your one political official. And you're right, there are issues that ag has, and everyone's here to talk about those issues. You're definitely the future of ag. One of the things that I learned, and 2 years ago, I was the escort for Shannon Grove around the farm show, and she had to speak at a little seminar, and one of the things she was talking about was the next generation of farming, and a huge concern for farmers was that our kids don't want to do what we do. And they were talking about how do we fix that? How do we encourage this next generation to keep this legacy going? And I'm right there helping her. I'm like, yeah, we want that. Encouraging kids and saying, all right, how can we bring the coolness back to that? And when we talk to a generation that their parents work their butts off, just like the farm workers, their parents work their butts off so they don't have to do that. These kids were saying, my mom and dad worked their butts off, I don't want to do that. You know, and so we're working on how do we encourage this next generation to do this. Now you have, if you see what's happening here, I hope you accept the responsibility that you have an opportunity to educate a lot of people on what you do. And I would hope that, and I would encourage you to really try to do that, and you can do that without being offensive. You know, and so when part of the fight was somebody telling me that my job depends on them. And our argument, another part of that conversation that was cut out, because dude, we went on for 30 minutes and they posted just that little segment, was me telling him that, and I believe it with all my heart, every breath I take is a gift from heaven. And you don't have to believe that. After that, directly after that, we depend on each other. Everything we do, unless you made that hat that you wear, you thank somebody that did it. But once I'm a firm believer that if you pay for it, if you work your butt off and you pay for something, you don't owe anymore. That's it. You work, it's your money, you pay for it, it's yours. If I buy a car, and I buy that car from Toyota, whoever owns Toyota doesn't pass by me every day and tell me I better thank them for my car. You know, I paid for it. If you earn it, you pay for it, it's yours. And we all depend on each other. You're driving, you're in this building. None of us swept it up this way. You know, thank you for the people that came in here and did it. You know, it's clean, our AC's running, we're cool. I hope you can realize that we had nothing to do with that, yet we sit here and enjoy it. And at the top of that is we are blessed with a country that gives us the right to disagree, gives us the right to assemble, to work on our issues, to listen to every side of an argument and encourage our youth. So I would hope that you're listening to everything you hear in this meeting and you use that information in your blog, you use that information in your future, you come back, you stay in the farming and listen to the farm workers and just be a good dude. You're a Mustang, you're halfway there already. Thank you. Mr. Carlton.